How's it going, Japan Trail Cam? Thanks again for joining us on another Trail Cam adventure. We're going to do a little bit of a podcast style from here on out. I've been doing these voiceovers recently and got a lot of positive feedback from everybody. So we're just going to start calling these podcasts. Starting it off with a beautiful boar here. I think this might be a Eurasian boar because I don't see any white kind of whiskers around his cheeks there. So again, we have it on another little muddy spot here, and they're just checking it out. And got a lot of clips. I got about 100 clips in about 2 weeks in this spot. I knew it was going to be a wildlife hotspot, but out of the 100 clips, I got a lot of birds this time, probably about 40 some odd clips of birds. And you can see in this shot here that it's a little bit rainy. You can kind of see a little bit of raindrops. And after the boar will waller and roll around in the mud here, they kind of create little pits where water will collect. And then the birds like to come by and take a little bird bath, get a drink. Also, it brings out some critters, some little worms and other little bugs and stuff like that the birds like to enjoy. So I just think it's neat how the actions of the boar and even deer rolling around in these mud pits, other animals will take advantage of that, and just the kind of the symbiosis, the interconnectedness of how nature really takes care of itself, and how animals adapt to other animals' behavior. So I just think it's really cool to see that. So just a couple little juvenile boars here. Again, can't quite tell if they are Japanese boar or a Eurasian boar. I really need to do my research to kind of be able to quickly identify them a little bit easier. But they, the main difference is the whiskers. In more of the kind of mature Japanese wild boar, you'll be able to see kind of some white whiskers, or kind of like a little white boar. Something scared him right there. Not quite sure it startled that little boar right there, yeah. But yeah, again, got about 40 clips of birds. Here's another bird. It's pretty cool. I think these are actually two competing species here. They're not the same bird here, but they kind of scuffle a little bit, trying to maybe posture for position at the pond. Another quick little bird here. I can't quite tell you what this one is. If anybody knows in the comments, you can let me know. Here is another good wild boar. Lots of wild boar again this week. They are one of our most common species that we do see in the forests here in southern Japan, and I think they're great. I know that they can kind of be a nuisance and whatnot, but they, as a species, they are such a voracious, very highly adaptable, very versatile species. Kind of getting my words tied up in my tongue there, yeah. But this is another pretty big boar there. Nice wide body, wide head there. Searching around in the mud. I got very, very lucky with this shot. I like how it is framed and how the animal, how the wild boar is just right smack dab in the middle of the frame there. So I guess I can talk about that a little bit, about how placing trail cams. You really have to kind of spend some time in the area, kind of see what's in the area. And we don't, we just use trees, so sometimes it's kind of up to the tree you have in that area to be able to compose the shot. But I got lucky with this one. But it's always good to kind of just spend some time in that area to see, what is going to get the best shot for you. And yeah, I think I found a good spot. That was great wallering there, yeah. I think probably, yep, we have another wild boar. So I kind of cut the clips a little bit, but what was happening is I think this is the same boar who will kind of come, roll around in the mud here, and then there's a bunch of tall grass kind of in the background there, and some rocks. So I think what he's doing here is just kind of rolling around, then he'll kind of go wipe off in the grass a little bit and have a good scratch on one of the rocks there, and then come back to the mud and have another quick dip. You see how he's kind of going over there and stopping? There's a rock right over there, and I believe he is kind of scratching on that rock there, rolling around on the grass a little bit, kind of get clean and whatnot. So pretty interesting. I think comes back for another third dip here. Ah, there he is, getting really close. Maybe I think he found something to nibble on. Looks like he's nibbling on something. Some great sounds there, some sniffing sounds. Sniffing sounds. Yeah, I think he found something to nibble on. I hear a little munching. Yeah. Chewing on something there. Maybe a little nut, a little fruit or a root or something like that. But yeah, in these wallering spots, they'll find food, they'll drink. I've seen wild boar use the toilet in these areas. And look, there's a bird. There's a bird and a wild boar in the same clip. You see him there? Pretty interesting, yeah? Another thing, too, is when the wild boar kind of dig up kind of these, they root around and stuff, they will unearth little critters like worms and stuff every once in a while. And I think that's what the birds are kind of going after as well in these areas. So he's going to wander out of the frame there. What do we got next? Okay, we got a little shy tanuki in the back there. Didn't get very many tanuki this time. It's a Japanese raccoon dog. Kind of, sneaking around in the back there. That's all we got of him. And who we got next? I think it's another wild boar right there. Yep, another wild boar. Checking it out. Ooh, sniffing around in the mud. And just kind of passing on by. Scratching. You see how he's scratching on that tree there? I think that's what one of the other boar was doing on a rock. Kind of getting a little scratch. This is how we find them. We find the wild boar, and usually when you track down the wild boar, you can usually find other animals in the area. So they're a very good indicator of wildlife for us. You can kind of see on some of the trees there that have the green. There's mud marks on the tree, and boar will leave mud marks on trees all over the place in the forest. So we can kind of follow those, and usually it will lead us to a spot like this that is kind of a gathering point for many different species. So I'm very thankful for the boar. Another little bird there. A little bird flew away. And another boar here. A nice slender boar. I think probably a juvenile. Kind of walking through here. And I believe our next clip is actually going to be a deer. Deer will actually use these spots as well. I think a big buck. Yeah, a nice little buck. You can see the antlers here. Looking a good mature buck here. He just kind of walks straight up to these bright LEDs lights. This is a white flash trail cam, and he's not even fazed by these bright LEDs. So he decided to show his buck parts. Didn't get quite a good view, but got the nice view of his antlers there. Back to the boar. Yeah, again, just quite a few boar, and I knew it would be boar in this area, but again, a lot of action, and it's always interesting to see the boars in their native, what they do, their natural habitat, and how they interact with it, and how they shape the environment. I've seen, I've had trail cams in places like this for many months, and I have seen how wild boar will just shape the landscape. And what I mean by that is you can kind of see those trees. Well, they just kind of keep digging deeper and deeper and deeper, and those trees will eventually kind of slowly start leaning in one way until they eventually fall down. So again, the wild boar, with how they, they're pretty, wild when they roll around, kicking and rolling and digging and stuff like that. I've seen how basically trees, and even big trees, will slowly eventually just start falling down because of how the wild boar waller and roll around in the mud. It's not just the boars too. Like deer will do this as well, and deer are pretty big animals as well. So they shape the environment, and it's just really interesting. And again, some species of boar, the Eurasian wild boar, are an invasive species here in Japan. So again, that could kind of lead to a little bit of maybe forest destruction. But I think overall it does kind of help the forest as well. When a tree falls, it also kind of helps regrowth as well. Here's a badger. Got a little badger coming out, and I think they're maybe slowly going to start coming out of hibernation. They kind of semi-hibernate. Here we are, another rainy clip. Little pigeon or dove. I think that's oriental turtle dove is what those are called. Nice rainy clip in the crows. And these collect water. I think in the next couple clips, like they're actually full of water. And that's where I got a lot of clips. Yeah, there you go. Can you see? And here it goes. It's getting a drink. Can you hear him a little bit? Yeah, kind of little, get some boar slurps. He's getting a drink, So again, they use these spots for different things, Getting a drink and rolling around in the mud. Birds will use a bird bath, just like I said before. So, great stuff. Nice sunny morning there. Lots of activity. Another boar, I think that kind of gets a little bit closer. Now, this one might be a little bit of a Japanese boar. You see that he has those white whiskers around his cheeks? I don't think the other boar had those. And he is a little bit smaller, but does not seem like a juvenile at all. You see the white whiskers right there? So I believe that's going to be our Japanese boar there. Got a nice crow here. Now here at the end, because I got so many clips, my batteries were running low and the clips were running short. So they kind of seem choppy here, but another good little boar family. Watch this. You see that? You see Mama kind of got a little fierce. But we're getting to the end here. I hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely check out some of our other videos. We got a website. Check that out. Also Patreon if you want to kind of support what we do out here in Japan. And there's a couple more videos off to the side here. So check those out, and we'll catch you on a next adventure.